Dr. Drexler, so good to have you here. First off, what is the queen bee syndrome?
The queen bee is someone, a woman, who has power over other women in the workplace and uses it destructively. Uses it to exclude, uses it to gossip, uses it to, and leaves no fingerprints. So it's the kind of thing that you can't complain to HR or to somebody else because there's no substantial data that you can pin your case on.
So why do we know that it happens then? I mean, if there's no real data that you can point to, how do you know it exists?
Because women by the hundreds have been reporting this. And after my article, they've come out of the woodwork and they are saying, this is me, this is what's happening. And I am really disheartened, distressed, stressed by this. And I really don't know what to do.
Why do you think this is? Why do you believe that some women in places of power don't actually work to bring up women behind them? Because wouldn't you think, I mean, you know, logically, and men have certainly proven that they can do this, you want to sort of keep a team around you, you want to rally the troops, you want to have a lot of great people.
Well, in other words, hire someone who can take your job so that you can move up, right? I mean, that's the logical way to do it. But
the heir apparent,
yes,
yeah.
Right.
But I think for women, it's been so hard for them to get to a certain point. There's many more women who are getting entry-level jobs and who are getting just so far. But then to get that extra push, they have to be really, really much smarter and much tougher than many, many other women and men. And they're always looking behind their back to see if they can maintain their position and keep going up. Women are notorious for not supporting other women. And I think it's because there's so few women who are up and aren't making the same money as men and really have to try very hard to maintain their position.
Do you think they're more competitive with each other than they are with men?
Well, I do think that, and I also think that they are faced with the worker bees. Women who work for other women are very hard to manage. They expect women to be friendly, and yet if they're too motherly, they're too smotherly. I mean, it's a real dilemma.
It's like you can't win.
Yeah.
You got it a lot harder than I do, you're telling me.
But I also think that women expect things from other women, so they expect a solidarity, but yet they don't want them to get too close. They don't want them they don't listen to other women, and so it becomes a real problem.
You were saying that the queen bee syndrome is one in which a woman in power is constantly undermining someone underneath her. Walk us through how that plays out.
Okay, I constantly is an extreme statement, but often. A queen bee will be at a meeting, and there will be 2 other women and maybe 5 men, and she will exclude the women from the conversation. She won't make eye contact. She might make the woman be take notes. As one woman said to me, the A in my name is not for administrative assistant, it's for MBA. So she will put the woman in a position of an underling.
Which undermines her in the eyes of all those in that same meeting.
Absolutely, absolutely. Or she'll call her dear or pumpkin or something like that. And then she won't make eye contact. Or if she's threatened by this other woman, she'll have a meeting in her office and she'll exclude the other woman. Or she'll gossip about her.
Now, gossip, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Because there's always, you know, tons of workplace gossip. But men, in general, aren't as gossipy, right? I mean, can we say that as a broad statement
that
men are
not gossipy, but I don't know if I can make
But maybe it's something that kind of lends itself.
Competitive. I think a man will say, I got a better parking space, or I bought a bigger piece of land.
You put it out there. Yeah. And you say, okay, that's what I did. What do you got?
Yeah.
Right? I mean, so it's all out there on the.
So how does the gossip work?
Yes, it's part of the game.
So they might spread a rumor that she's sleeping with somebody in the office that's not true, or that she's in fact not supporting another woman, doing something underhanded. I'll give you a specific example in academia. It's there too. She'll say that, and this is a true situation, that a woman under her was trading good reviews for services. And so what do you say? You can't go to HR because
What do you mean, services? Sexual services?
It could be sexual services.
I mean, so basically there's an assumption that a woman's not going to get ahead without having somehow
using her femininity, her sexuality. But what would you say to HR? It sounds like ridiculous.
Right. Do you have it on tape or in writing? No, I don't. Well, then I'm sorry, we can't help you.
Well,
right?
then it should be in. But
yeah.
that is what I would advise women, to put everything on tape or in writing.
So can you walk around with your iPhone recording the whole time?
No, but you can take notes. And you can find out if there's a long line at HR complaining about this same woman, and that would be supportive.
You know, what can women do, though, to make sure that this doesn't happen? I mean, I work with a lot of wonderful, wonderful women here. I would, you know, you can shoot me if I ever turn into a queen bee. I would never want to have anybody think that of me. What do women need to do to make sure that they are constantly on guard, to make sure that they are supporting all the younger ones coming up behind them?
Well, they have to be respectful, and they have to be kind, but they also have to be tough. And so there's a difference between a queen bee and a tough boss. Pushing somebody to their limit, expecting what they expect from a male, or what the expectations are for anybody that works for you, there's nothing wrong with that. And if somebody who works for you takes it the wrong way, then that's their problem, and you can talk about it. But surely...
But do you think women need to be paying attention to this, trying to sort of do everything that they can to help each other, as opposed to, unfortunately, as you're describing it, often hurting each other in the workplace?
Absolutely, women should be helping each other out, but I think there's an institutional factor here, too. And when more and more women can have top positions, I think this might
start to change.
Look at Sheryl Sandberg. Look at Marissa Mayer. They were skewered by some women. Sheryl Sandberg, that this was a platform for her. Marissa Mayer, that it hurt women.
Yeah, that she went back to work after the pregnancy, and you're absolutely right, that never would have happened. A man doesn't have to deal with those issues. So the more women we have in power, the more this starts to change, the more it becomes accepted. Dr. Peggy Drexler, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
Very provocative discussion, very interesting indeed.